the most important part is protection of thyristor, that is well described in this session. See, for proper and reliable operation, thyristor must be operating within the specified voltage and current ratings. But in some applications, thyristor may be subjected to overvoltage and overcurrent. Due to overvoltage and overcurrent, the junction temperature may exceed to the minimum allowable temperature and device damaged permanently. For normal operation of the thyristors, in a different converter circuits, the following protections should be taken care. Like DIDD protection, DVDD protection, over voltage protection, over current protection, and gate protection. So the first is DIDD protection. In case of DIDD protection, the complete phenomena depends on the spreading velocity of anode current. Suppose when the thyristor is forward biased and the gate pulse is applied, then the anode current starts to flow in the region near to gate and cathode junction. As when the gate is just applied to the gate terminal, that what happened? Then the gate current density is maximum near gate and thereafter. That is why initially the anode current cannot flow easily. That is why in the first diagram we can see the anode current which will take in this manner and which is defined by these arrows. After few times, as depending on the spreading velocity, then it can start flowing and which will cover the some amount of region but not cover the entire region. After few time, then it will cover the entire region, then it starts conducting freely. That means we can say the actual anode current conduction depends on the spreading velocity of the anode current. If any problem has arisen, if the anode current, the rate of change of current, that is defined by dIdt, that means rate of change of anode current with respect to time. If this rate of change of anode current is high enough with respect to the normal spreading velocity, which is normally defined by the 50 meter per second, then a locally hot spot can be arised. That means the temperature across the junction will be increased. As the temperature is increased, that is why the junction can be damaged permanently. So this is not the required phenomena. That is why to protect it, what will be the protection circuit? Consider this is a simple kind of circuit through which we can demonstrate how DIDT can be protected. Okay? See, in this circuit, this is actually the switch thyristor. This is the switch or thyristor that is defined by T1 and a load is connected there. If this load is inductive load, that is why a freewheeling diode can be connected here. And to protect this diode, normally the snubber can be connected across the diode DM. So this is different issue. Suppose due to presence of voltage source Vs, if under any circumstances, suppose the rate of change of current of anode, that is DIDT, is high enough with respect to normal spreading velocity, that is 50 meter per second inside the layers, then what happen? Then the device can be damaged permanently due to overheat phenomena across the junction. So to protect it, we are trying to limit the current. That means we choose a particular component through which we can oppose this amount of current, means this rate of change of current. So that can be well defined by the inductor or reactor. Okay, we know the normal property of the reactor, that is as per the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, when the current starts flowing across any inductor, it provides back EMF. And as per the Lenge's law, this back EMF concept means it will oppose the original supply current. That is why if we can add a reactor LS in series with respect to this switch, then which can easily oppose the supply current with high DIDT. due to which we can protect the thyristor from high DIDT stress. So the next is DVDT protection. This is DVDT protection. When a voltage is applied across anode to cathode of a thyristor and anode is positive with respect to cathode, the junction J1 and J3 are forward biasing condition. That is discussed so many times before, and the junction J2 is reverse biased condition. The reverse bias junction J2 behaves like a capacitor. The holes from P region of the junction J1 are accumulated at the junction J2, and electrons from N layer of the junction J3 are also accumulated at the junction other side of the junction J2. Therefore, space charge carriers are presented across the junction J2. When a large voltage is applied abruptly, then the charging current IC flows through the thyristor and the device will turn on without gate signal. This is actually unwanted triggering, and which is defined by this expression C. In this case, if the charging current is defined by IC, that is actually flowing across the reverse bias junction J2 for abrupt change of the supply voltage or sudden change of supply voltage, that is why high DVDT stress is affected on this junction J2. That is why IC is defined by del Q dt. So as we assume Q is equal to Cj into V, where Cj is the capacitance of the junction J2 and V is the supply voltage which is actually appeared across the junction J2. So we obtain the result, that is IC equal to d Cj dV dt. After derivative, we will get the result, that is V into d Cj dt plus Cj dV dt. So as Cj is constant, as which is defined by the manufacturer, actually Cj is called the junction capacitance that depends on the how much charge has accumulated across the J2 junction, and this depends on the doping concentration of the layers. That is why this is well defined by the manufacturer only. So that is why we can say the Cj is a constant term and derivative of some constant, that is actually 0, that gives us 0. That is why we can say IC equal to Cj dV dt as C at d Cj dt equal to 0, just I told you before. That means we can say the rate of change of voltage, if we are increased with a higher value, that means the IC will be increased with higher value. IC means is a leakage current across the junction capacitance of J2. That is actually depends on the anode current. If IC is increased with a huge amount, that means we can say the anode current starts flowing throughout the device. So we can say the device is under working state. But this is called abnormal firing. Usually, the DVDT ratings of the thyristor is 20 to 500 volt per microsecond. If the value of DVDT is more than that, then what happens? Then thyristor will be turned on and there is abnormal triggering of the thyristor. Therefore, a protective circuit should be connected across the thyristor to protect from the high DVDT stress, and which is coming from the abrupt change of the supply voltage. And this kind of protection circuit is called snubber circuit. Okay, that is reflected on my next slide. Usually, a snubber circuit consists of a series combination of resistance Rs and a capacitance, that is Cs, and it is connected in parallel with the thyristor T. Actually, the CS itself is sufficient to protect this unwanted abnormal triggering of the thyristor. But still we have to connect a RS or resistance in series with respect to CS. When the switch is closed, at the time t equal to 0, suddenly the supply voltage appears across the circuit and the capacitor behaves as a short circuit. That is the normal characteristics of the capacitor. Therefore, the voltage across the SCR is 0. With the progress of the time, the voltage across the capacitor build up shortly with a DVDT, which is less than specified maximum DVDT. So CS is enough to protect the accidental turn-on process. But what is the need of putting RS in series with CS? Because it can protect from high DIDT. Again there is a question. So how DVDT and DIDT both will be protected by using this Nabas circuit? So let me discuss in detail. Suppose when the switch S is closed, then the current starts flowing through this direction. As the capacitor is there, then the capacitor is behaving like a short circuit. The current can flowing through the capacitor and to the load. That means the voltage across the thyristor T, that is 0. Total voltage that is captured by this capacitor CS. Okay? And we know the normal property of CS, the charging path and the discharging path of CS are opposite. When the capacitor starts storing energy inside it, then the direction of the current was this one. When the capacitor is fully charged to a maximum value of Vs, then it tries to discharge. When the capacitor tries to discharge, then discharging current that should be opposite of charging current. That means when the capacitor tries to discharge in this direction, then total DIDT gives some stress on this switch T. That means it is true, this capacitor is quite capable to protect the high DVDT from the supply, but yet it will provide a huge amount of DIDT when the capacitor starts discharging. So to protect this DIDT, we are adding this resistance in series with respect to capacitor. That means this resistance is capable to maintain proper DIDT stress across the switch T1. That is why the total combination, the series combination of RS and CS, that is defined by the Nabas circuit to protect the total thing, DVDT as well as DIDT. Then the switch can be operated safely. Now we should find out the value of RS and CS separately. From this schematic diagram, we can write that is Vs equal to Is into Rs plus RL plus LDIDT. Vs equal to supply voltage, that is Vs, that should be equal to the voltage drop across Rs and CS, and another resistance, that is load resistance, is there. That is why we can write the expression that is Is into Rs plus RL plus LDIDT, and LDIDT, that is due to presence of this inductive load, that is defined the voltage across this inductor, that is LDIDT. Okay. So the solution of the above equation, that is Is equal to Vs by Rs plus RL 1 minus e to the power t by tau, where I equal to Vs by Rs plus IL and tau equal to L by Rs plus RL. By using this Laplace equation or Laplace formula, we can easily find out the Is. After simplification, we can write that is Is equal to I into 1 minus e to the power t by tau, and we assume these two things. Now, we should consider the maximum value of Is, and to find out the maximum minima, we know that should be derivative. We are using the derivative part. That is why the derivation of the differentiation of the above equation, we get dis dt, that is equal to I into e to the power t by tau into 1 by tau, and after simplification we can have Vs by Rs plus RL into e to the power t by tau into Rs plus RL by L. Just we have put it this the value of tau. Just we assumed before, that is Rs plus RL by L. That is tau equal to L by Rs plus RL. Okay? So, we can rewrite the expression, that is Vs by L into e to the power t by tau. As initially, when the switch is closed at the time t equal to 0, then the capacitor behaving like a short circuit. Okay? That way it will resist the maximum di dt stress. That is why we can consider at t equal to 0 dis dt equal to maximum. Then the maximum value of di dt, that is di dt max, that should be equal to Vs by L. Okay? As we assume t equal to 0, that means e to the power t by tau, that means e to the power 0, it will give us 1. So ultimately we can have the result, that is dis dt max, that is Vs by L. So from this expression we can write L equal to Vs by dis dt max. So in this way we can easily design the value of L for Snabba's circuit. Now we have to find out the value of Rs, and the Rs is given in the previous circuit. Here is Rs. That means we can say the voltage across these Rs, that should be equal to what? That is Is Rs. Is means if we assume the circuit current Is as it is flowing to the Snabba's circuit. So the voltage drop across Rs, that should be equal to Is into Rs. In this way, we can say the voltage across a sphere is V equal to Is Rs. After differentiating, we obtain that dVdt equal to Rs into Is dt, Rs into dis dt, and to achieve the maximum value, that means dVdt max, we can write that is the current, the Snabbar current will be maximum, that is why Rs into dis dt max. So we can say if the voltage is maximum, then it will provide the maximum current. That is why we can write this expression in this way. Okay? And we know the value of Rs into dis dt, that is given in the previous slide. See, that is equal to the equation 1, that means dis dt max, that is equal to Vs by L. That is why we can change this expression by Vs by L. That is why we can have the value dVdt max, that should be equal to Rs Vs by L. So in this way we can calculate the designed value of Rs. in this way, we can design the optimal value of RS for snubber circuit, that is RS equal to L by Vs into dV dt maximum. Okay, the maximum value of dV dt. Okay, so this is the value of the snubber resistance. So the next part is overvoltage protection. This is overvoltage protection. Actually, it is two types, external overvoltage and internal overvoltage. In case of external overvoltage, when the current flows in the inductive circuit is interrupted or the lightning shocks on the lines, external overvoltage is appeared across the thyristor. If a converter circuit is supplied through the transformer, transient overvoltage across the thyristor causes when the transformer is energized and de-energized during grid connection. Due to the transient overvoltage, thyristor will turn on abruptly and overvoltage appear across load. Consequently, a large fault current flows through the converter circuit and the thyristor may also be damaged partially and somehow completely. And in case of internal overvoltage, usually thyristor overvoltage is generated during turn-off process of thyristor. After the anode current becomes zero, the current starts to flow in the reverse direction due to stored charges and reaches peak inverse recovery current. After that, the reverse recovery current starts to fall abruptly with large DIDT as series inductor L is present in the converter circuit. A large transient L DIDT voltage is generated and thyristor may be damaged due to transient overvoltage. Therefore, voltage clamping device such as varistor. So this is the protective device normally we are used to protect the overvoltage protection. That is why we can say, therefore, the voltage clamping device such as varistor may be used to protect thyristor from overvoltage. Actually, varistor is a nonlinear resistance. That means when the current increases, its resistance value is decreases, just opposite of the normal resistance. In case of normal resistance, current is increases, then the resistivity will be increased. In case of the nonlinear resistance like varistor, when the current is increased, its resistivity should be decreased. So we can say if varistor is connected across the switch or across the thyristor, then thyristor can be protected from overvoltage that can be generated internally and externally. Now, the concept of overcurrent protection. So, in this case, there is overcurrent protection. We have considered a schematic or simple circuit diagram to protect overcurrent during operation of thyristor. And the circuit is constructed by a circuit breaker, a fuse which is widely termed by FACLF, and the full form is fast acting current limiting fuse, which is connected in series with the circuit breaker. And this total mechanism actually which can protect the SCR from overcurrent phenomena. Here we are using a Crowbar thyristor or Crowbar thyristor, which the gate is connected to the triggering circuit, and this triggering circuit is connected to a current sensing resistor. Okay, and this is the overall converter circuit, and load is connected to the converter circuit, and the supply is given over here. What happened? See, suppose when the supply is given, then the current starts flowing throughout the circuit in this way to converter, then load, then coming back to this resistance and this one. So the property of the current sensing resistance, see, when the fault current starts flowing through the circuit, then it can provide some amount of voltage. Means this current sensing resistance, which stands for RC, that is actually specified for the specific value of volt current. Okay, that means it can identify the how much current is flowing through the circuit. That is why for normal condition, when there is a no fault occur across the line or across the converter circuit, then the simple or rated current starts flowing throughout the converter circuit, then it cannot identify the extra, it cannot generate the extra amount of voltage. But when the fault current starts flowing, that means if the current, this fault current magnitude is high enough with respect to the normal magnitude of the circuit current, then this sensing resistance can sense the extra amount of current. Then it is able to create the amount of voltage, and this voltage is going to the triggering circuit. Then the triggering circuit can generate few amount of triggering pulse, and this is connected to the gate terminal of the Crobus circuit. Then this is a kind of SCR. When the triggering pulse is given to the Crobus thyristor, then it starts working. Then it will be in working state or conducting state. Then this switch starts working as a short circuit. That is why total fault current will be short circuited through this Crobus circuit and coming back to this terminal. Then what happened? As the circuit breaker and the fuse are there, that is why it will be destroyed. But it can protect the actual converter circuit, which is very expensive and it is very important for industry application. After few time, we can replace easily the fuse and circuit breaker. Then the total converter circuit again to be connected to the supply without any problem. Okay, in this way, this Crobus circuit and the current sensing resistance both are quite capable to protect the total converter circuit from the overcurrent which is created under any circumstances from the supply. Now, the last protective circuit, that is for gate. In this case, during protection of the gate is connected actually like a diode. That means cathode to gate, that is junction J3 is there. Okay. So obviously, in case of gate, the similar to normal SCR, for the purpose of operation of the thyristor, based on converter circuit, gate drive should be always protected from overvoltage as well as overcurrent. Due to the sudden overvoltage across gate circuit, thyristor will be triggered. This type of triggering is false or abnormal triggering. A Zener diode Z is connected across the gate to protect from overvoltage. Due to overcurrent in the gate circuit, junction temperature may exceed in specified limit and thyristor may be completely damaged. That is why a resistance R1 should be connected in series with the gate driver circuit to protect the device from overcurrent. Additionally, sometimes thyristor are also turned on due to presence of noise signal. Therefore, a resistance R2 and C are connected between gate and cathode to bypass the noise signal. Noise signal means, suppose we know in case of gate driver circuit, normally three types of signal can be given. One is DC signal, different one is AC signal for industry application, or some kind of pulse should be given across gate to turn on the switch. Suppose, assume for any application purpose, the gate signal that should be DC. Okay? And we know, suppose we are applying the DC voltage to the gate terminal, but there have some noise like this. Suppose the specification of the gate is suppose 5 volt. That means if we can apply the 5 volt DC to the gate, then the switch will be on. Suppose we are not applying 5 volt. Suppose we are applying 4 volt to maintain the off state of the switch. But due to presence of this unwanted signal or noise signal, this magnitude can be varied, maybe 2 volt to 5 volt, maybe 3 volt to 5 volt. That means yet I am applying the 5 volt to the gate triggering circuit, but due to presence of the peak of the other unwanted signal, it can reach a suppose 5 volt. Then the gate can be fired at any instant. That is why the thyristor will be turned on for any unwanted situation. That can be suppose somehow it can be dangerous for the converter circuit. That is why this is called unwanted firing. To protect it, normally we are adding a resistance suppose R1 to protect this kind of unwanted signal and this kind of unwanted magnitude of the other noise signal. Okay. So we have studied all the things: DIDT protection, DVDT protection, over voltage protection, over current protection, and gate protection. So the complete protective circuit or protection circuit of the thyristor, that is this one. So this is the circuit for the overall protection of the thyristor or SCR, in which we have considered all the protection process. See, the first is, that is overcurrent protection. This is overcurrent protection, in which we are normally use the circuit breaker in series with FACLF, the full form, that is fast acting current limiting fuse, which can use to protect the overcurrent from the overcurrent. Next is DIDT protection, that is DIDT reactor is used to protect DIDT. Third one is, that is DVDT protection, which is normally used by the snubber circuit, and snubber circuit means that is RS, this resistance, and the capacitor, that is CS, both are connected in series. And to protect the over voltage, normally the varistor is used. The normal working of the varistor, just like a nonlinear resistance, means it decreases its resistivity by increases or by increment of the current. Okay, so over voltage protection, DVDT protection, DIDT protection, overcurrent protection, all have done. Now the question, that is for gate protection. Just I have discussed before, in case of the gate protection, see, this capacitor is there, that is which can protect the false triggering, okay, and to protect the gate unless the gate can be damaged permanently. And this R2 is there to protect the over voltage which can be generated for the gate supply, and R1 is there which can protect the overcurrent from the unwanted signal which can be generated by the supply, gate supply, and the Zener diode is connected across the gate terminal to protect the over voltage by using Zener diode. So this is the all over protection circuit of the thyristor. That means when we are using this kind of power switch for any power electronic application or any circuit for designing of the converter, this kind of protection circuit must be given to protect a single switch or single SCR. Okay, so thank you.